So anyway, back to this, we're doing ORP tests. I want to show people how you can ORP test food, and you can tell what the antioxidant or oxidant capacity of your food is. And I've got this this awesome New York steak right here that I'm gonna do an ORP test on. But in the meantime, before I start my tests, I'm calibrating my ORP meter in by going back and forth between the 2.5 water over here, and as you can see here, I'm gonna keep this over here like that, and I'm gonna use my other hand here to. Luckily, from river rafting, I've become somewhat a little bit ambidextrous.
Nice.
I got to tell you a funny story about that, Wetzel.
Talk to me, big fella.
One of my buddies was telling me a story about this big brother that he played softball with, and the guy was, where are we at? We up there close to
I can't see. It's dark. It's too dark.
-8.
Oh, there you go.
-8.
There you go. -885 and dropping slowly.
Now we're going to the positive side.
$840, $878. Okay, 989. Whoa, it's getting into 1,000. Giddy up. So you're 2.5 in it, correct?
Yes, this is our 2.5.
You want to give us a
Morning,
little
Tara,
explanation?
Paul.
Hey, listen. These guys are holding, hey guys, listen, on the level of helping people understand what you're doing to calibrate that thing, you give a little explanation. You're trying to get that up to around 1,100 or so, or at least in the 1,000.
Yeah.
In the 2.5, and then you go to the 11.5?
Yep.
Talk to me. What's that? How does that help people understand what that does?
What that's doing is making the meter go back and forth from one extreme to the other.
Okay, nice.
And so as you can see, I'm getting close to a -900 on the 11.5 side, which is really, really high antioxidant right there. That negative number, that's huge.
Huge.
Big time antioxidant. And then now I'm going back to the acid water, to the other end of the spectrum. And this also shows people the difference between the two waters. This is proof positive that that the Kangen water machine truly does split the water. It's, you know, that you've got two different waters right here that have come out of the machine. And before we hit the recording, I filled these up right out of the machine. But you know, you just get it going back and forth until you get some pretty high readings up there. You want to be somewhere around, you know, in the 900 range on the negative side. And then you want to be, you know, in the 1,000+ range on the positive side. Okay. And once you get that, then you're ready to rock and roll.
Ready to rock and
roll. We're up
roll.
over 1,000.
Yeah, 10, 27, 8, 9, 30, 1, 2, 3. Giddy up. It's whipping. It's harsh.
So yeah, we're in good shape now. Okay, so our machine is calibrated in. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to drink this water. No sense throwing that golden elixir down the drain. And then this right here, I'm going to give this a little gargle or a little swish around. This is good for killing cavities and bacteria and things like that in your mouth.
So to specify for the rookies attending this wonderful webinar done by our Mad Kong scientist, Mr. J. John Chabaris, he drank the 11.5 water as the master antioxidant. And then what he did is he also drank the 2.5. He's gargling it accordingly to kill any bacteria to the tune of about 99.999% effectiveness. And he's a swishing and a swirling and a spitting and a, well, I can't
look
think
at this
of
beauty right here, kids. This right here is a beauty. I'm sorry for you vegans out there. If this is making you disgusted, I'm sorry. But this is a beautiful thing. And what I'm going to do with this first is I'm going to test the ORP on this steak, and I want to see what kind of an ORP we're getting on this steak. And so I'm going to take my little meter here. In fact, I'm going to do something here. This might help. Turn the light on. Maybe having a little light on the subject might help us see the meter a little better. Can you guys see that good?
Yeah, 792.
Okay, so here we go. Now I'm going to take my probe over here and I'm going to stick it into the steak.
You're sticking your probe into the meat?
I'm sticking my probe into the meat.
Okay. Right.
And as you can see, it was up there at about a negative, or it was up there at about a positive 700 when we started.
Right.
And now it's at a positive 400 and something.
Positive 450. It's positive 440 and counting down.
So I'm going to keep it in here, and we're going to see how far it drops. And all I'm doing, as you can see back there, I've just got the probe buried into the meat. And what's it doing? It's dropping. It's like 400, it's into 300s now.
Yeah, 330s.
So we're just going to let this roll until it settles itself into whatever it's going to drop to.
You mean count down, not roll, huh?
What's that there, Rodgar?
You mean count down, not roll, huh?
Yeah. The meat countdown.
That's
Put
right.
your probe in your meat and then count down.
105.
So it looks like we're settled in pretty good, aren't we? Are we?
Yeah.
Okay, so that gives us our base for what we're going to witness tonight. Because what I'm going to do now, so we're at a negative 300 or a positive 300 basically. Is that dropping down below 300?
Yes, sir. 280.
So we basically got ourselves a 270, 270, 269, 268. Man, it's still counting down.
260, 59.
So let's just call it a positive right around about a positive 250 is what we're going to call our base on this. So we got our positive 250 as our base on this steak. Okay, and now what I'm going to do, kids, is this is where the test is going to happen. Because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this piece of meat and I'm going to stick it in this container right here. I'm going to squish her on in here, and then I'm going to run my 11.5 water, and I'm going to completely fill up this container. I'm going to fill it up all the way to the brim, and then I'm going to put the lid on it. Oh, it's going through a cleaning here real quick.
Dr. Kong, huh?
Doc Kong, baby, at your service.
There you go.
Professional badge that my sweetie made me.
There you go.
Oh, boy.
Here's little Jazzy. Jazzy loves Doc
Ah,
Kong.
nice.
See our little kitty? She's so darn cute. She just absolutely brutalizes our older.
Nice.
Okay, so we're running our 11.5 water. I like to run my 11.5 strong until it tells me to decrease the flow. Then I decrease the flow back to a small flow. Now I like to rub my fingers under the water until it feels slippery, and it now feels slippery. Then I go ahead and test this. Make sure I've got that nice chlorine smell and taste, and I do. So boom, here we go. We're filling this thing up with Kong, baby. We're gonna soak this thing, and I'm gonna soak it all day long until probably about 6 o'clock tonight when we're ready to cook her up for supper. So I'm filling her up. I'm gonna fill her up all the way to the brim. And I'm gonna give myself a little bit of cleaner to. Okay, there we go. Now, remember kids, never turn your machine off when it's on the 11.5 setting. Okay, so there we go. Now I'm locking this down so that no air can get in. Squeezing all the air out of the thing. Now it's ready to go in the fridge for the day. And then the last thing I'm gonna do, because I stuck my probe in the meat, is I'm gonna do another calibration here, mostly just to clean the tip off, clean the tip of the probe. And we've got some pretty high numbers here. We got climbing. Bet in a second here. Can you guys see that?
Yes, sir.
We're up there, 1,078, 1,079, 80. And that's a good thing. So we're right up there pretty close to 1,100, which is wonderful. And then on our negative side, we're up over 900. So, you know, sticking the probe in the meat actually helped make the the readings even higher on the second go round. So don't forget to stick your probe in the meat, kid. So let's get to today's experiment. This is the first part of the experiment, and later on tonight, what I'm going to do is, once this has been sitting in the Kangen 11.5 strong alkaline water, I'm gonna pull that baby out later, and then I'm gonna stick the probe into the meat again, and I'm gonna have Tina film it. And then I'm going to take that and I'm going to share that video in the comments. I'm not going to go live on another show. I'm just going to film it and post the results in the comments of this particular show. And that'll show everybody what the difference was between what we had here. Because basically our baseline right now we determined was about a positive 250. And so what we're going to find out later on tonight is how much it raised, or how much it changed the antioxidant capabilities of this steak. And my bet is, you guys, this is my bet, that tonight at 6 o'clock when we pull this baby out and do this test again, that this steak is actually going to be in the negative. That's my bet. We'll see.
And listen, may I address that really quickly?
Absolutely.
What you're talking about doing, obviously on the aesthetic level, you're talking about tenderizing the meat, getting it, filling it with oxygen and hydrogen, opening up the pores. But what people need to understand is what you're doing is you're taking an acidic piece of flesh, an acidic piece of beef flesh, and you're turning it into an antioxidant. Talk to me, Petey Green. Tell me something.
Well, the thing about it, this is what I love so much about my trusty ORP meter, and why I recommend that everybody that has a Kangen water machine, and you know, or even if you don't have a Kangen water machine, this is a good thing to have, because you can test different liquids to see whether they're oxidizing you or whether they're whether they're an antioxidant. And basically what it comes down to is if something is an oxidant, then what it's doing is it's stealing electrons from your body. It's what Dr. Jerry Tennant calls an electron stealer. So anytime you've got a positive number, like just the air in the air that we're breathing in that I'm breathing in right now, it's got a positive 500. So the air that I'm breathing in is stealing electrons from my body. And then, you know, when you see that negative number is an electron donor. And like Jerry Tennant says, everything that we eat, everything we drink, everything we breathe, it comes down to one of two things. Either it's an electron donor or it's an electron stealer. Which one do you think might be better for you, the stealer or the donor?
The donor.
Exactly.
The giver or the taker, you know, translation for those that
Giver. The
Exactly.
giver.
And so the thing about this little meter right here is this meter doesn't have any bias. It doesn't have an opinion. It hasn't read any articles by any doctors. It hasn't seen any studies. It hasn't watched any videos. It
can't watch fake news on network television, so it's completely non-opinionated.
Exactly. That's what
and
I love.
It doesn't
so much
post
about
any
this
of it
guy.
on Facebook.
Yeah. The thing is he doesn't care about my opinion or your opinion or anybody else's opinion. The only opinion he cares about is his own opinion, because his opinion is the only one that really matters, because it's just a little machine. It's like the Terminator. It doesn't have any feelings.
It's like a calculator, man. It just adds up the numbers, baby.
Amen. And what this thing is if you look here, if you look closely, you'll see an MV there above it. See that MV? That stands for millivolts.
Nice.
And our bodies run on millivolts. And so that's the whole point of this. I wanted to demonstrate that you can indeed measure with an ORP meter. You can measure the antioxidant or the oxidant capacity of any food that you eat, and also any liquid that you drink. And so even people who don't have a Kangen water machine, they might want to consider getting an ORP meter. My recommended choice of a place to get an ORP meter is from Ion Faucet. I'm going to go ahead and give them a little plug. And the reason I like Ion Faucet is that when you buy your ORP meter from them, you get it in a nice little carrying case that's got nice foam in it, and it's got a spot for you to, in fact, I'll show you guys. This is my case right here that my ORP meter came in. And, you know, you get this nice little case that I have room here in this little spot. I have room to put my chlorine testing drops. I have a room to put my pH drops, testing drops. I have a room for a lighter so that I can light the water on fire and show people how that happens. I can keep a couple
Don't turn the pipe, man.
And I like this. And this thing only cost me 125 bucks. And because I'm part of the business, the Kangen water business, I can write that expense off on my taxes. And the thing is, this goes right in here like so. I'll show you this. Your ORP meter goes in there like that. And then your probe has this little thing that goes on the end of it. And it goes in right here. And you can close it all up in there. You got your whole test kit, everything you need for showing people the power of this water. You've got it right there in your little case. Boom. So this one's made by Milwaukee, and you can get it from Ion Faucet, and it's 125 bucks plus plunder fees and shipping if they apply. So there we go, kids. I'm thinking this is going to be a really valuable episode, because this is going to show people just how you know, the difference between what this water can do. Because I don't know for sure, but my guess is that we're going to find a really different steak when we pull that thing out of there tonight and do the ORP test on it. I'm guessing that it's going to be a negative ORP, which means that we took this acidic oxidizing steak and turned it into an alkaline antioxidizing steak. And then something I'm also going to do, just because I want to demonstrate this part of the equation as well, is that, of course, I'm going to cook this steak. I'm not going to just eat it like you know, like my dog if I had one would. I'm gonna cook it, and then once I'm done cooking it, then I'm also going to test it again to see what the cooking did to it. And so, yeah, it should be a really interesting demonstration here later on tonight. Like I said, I'm just going to videotape it, and then I'm going to put that video up in the comments on this show, so anybody can go share the show. And this is getting recorded, so I will put this up on the YouTube channel, and then I'm also going to put the other video on the YouTube channel in the comments as well, so that if anybody has questions about this, you can share this with them. And this is just another one of those demonstrations to show that Kangen water makes everything better. What's that there, Rutger?
Just remember, if you use the lighter, don't burn your pipe, man.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Kong doesn't need any more war wounds. And this one, this little beauty, this little lady right here, if I go and give her a war wound, Tina's gonna whoop my butt. So I'll do my best to keep the lighter away.
Yeah, nice kid, man.
All right, kids. Love you so much. Remember, we are the Kong family. We're here to change the world. And Sean, how is it that we're doing that again?
1 glass of hydrogen-rich, oxygen-saturated, supremely hydrating, Kangen 9.5 at a time, and 11.5 every once in a while if you're feeling frisky.
Amen, brother. One lightning bolt in a box, one informative show, one incredible guest, one amazing family at a time. So kids, get out there, change the world, starting with your own, and of course, do not forget your hugs, kids. Hooty-hoo! Great one, kids. Love you. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Rock and roll, hoochie coo. Catch you on the flip side.
Be safe out there, Rudgar.